Hey everyone, it's Vivi and welcome to another Sly Cooper video. Apart from knowing that Dr. M was the brains of Sly's father's gang, I mean, that was an interesting revelation. And yeah, like I was saying, apart from that, there's a certain particular aspect of him that's always intrigued me. What I'm looking at is that thing attached to his head, which at least to us looks permanent. That, at first glance, looks like mere cybernetics. That one piece attached to his head gives him the ability to control either standalone mech or hybrids. We've seen this happen on multiple occasions. The underwater mission with Dimitri, us fighting his flying creature, his mutant, who almost crushed Sly to death. And then there's our final encounter. What's also fascinating is that these are clearly his own creations. Whichever method he's used to build or modify these creatures is a mystery. But one thing is for sure. Dr. M seems to specialize in both biology and technology. Sure, Bentley thought of him as the former Cooper Gang's technical specialist, but clearly Dr. M is capable of much more. What we saw in Sly 3 could have just been a snippet of what he's capable of. If he was able to control such a huge beast by simply plugging himself into it, using his brain to control the mutant in other words, then just imagine the number of other secret projects he kept under wraps. During Sly 3's opening, Sly explains that Dr. M took over Kane Island in an attempt to break through the Cooper Vault. But one detail we cannot ignore is the amount of time he spent there. Sly said Dr. M spent years trying to crack the safe, paranoid even as decades rolled by. Seeing as how the place turned into a fortress over the years, it's very possible he had other toys or inventions hiding deep within the shadows. Surely with a fortress, you have a room, a lab, with all your research and experiments, right? Heck, if we ever get to visit that secret lab of his, that'd be epic. We could only imagine the condition it's in if, of course, it somehow managed to survive. Perhaps it did. After all, part of the Cooper Vault, especially the room with all the loot, managed to stay intact. It does have an updated security system, for whatever reason it may be. We decide to revisit the vault. Part of me wonders if Penelope would still have the ability to access it. After all, Bentley and Penelope updated the system. We can't forget about that. Perhaps Bentley made sure that she wouldn't after what she did. Hey, one reason we could visit the vault, isn't the gang looking for Sly most presumably? They might need a certain artifact to activate Bentley's time machine. But hey, I'll leave that one at that. Alrighty, so we met Dr. M, noticed what he's capable of except breaking through the vault. That scene with Carmelita entering through the back door, I mean, we all asked that same question, right? One thing we never were really sure of was Dr. M always this interested in the world of genetics and biology. From a basic standpoint, Dr. M was the brains of the former Cooper Gang, but what we saw in Sly 3 shows that this guy is capable of much more. He's more than just a technical specialist which Bentley mentioned. Reaching such level of knowledge surely must have taken years of mastery. And that brings us to the following question. Just how long was that cranial piece of his attached to his head? From our understanding, the mere fact he genetically manipulated these beings, it's from a personal choice. Something he deemed worthwhile to explore. Either the headpiece of his was surgically implanted by sheer curiosity and willingness, or this decision could have been influenced after a severe head trauma. Dr. M did say that Sly's dad was never such a good friend. Why is that, we ask ourselves? It could be due to any particular reason. That thing on his head could potentially be a hint at what could have transpired within the former Cooper Gang. There's always been this thought in my head. A what if scenario. What if Dr. M managed to survive? At first glance, I mean, it looks like game over. He just looks around, unleashes this rage, and has no choice but to surrender and meet his unfortunate end. But did he meet his end? This is someone who built a fortress and can manipulate living creatures and completely modify them. As stated previously, who knows what secret inventions or projects he had kept under wraps. If Dr. M was capable of controlling this underwater creature right here, who's to say he can't just call for backup, immediate backup in this case? Perhaps he attempted to escape, only to get crushed and get severely injured, to a point of losing an arm, or a leg. But in the end, he still could have had life in him, if such thing were the case. Considering how he already had an implant on his head, then it's possible he'd just convert himself into a cyborg. Imagining Dr. M still alive, what would he be up to next? Would you even picture Dr. M still alive? Would he just throw in the towel, if that were the case? What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Like usual, a huge thank you to my patrons for helping support the channel. Thank you so much. Thanks all of you as well for tuning in. I've been Vivi, and until next time.